The biggest starship in the galaxy sat in space like a dead whale. Captain Jake Morrison walked around it for the 100th time, shaking his head. The ship was called GCS Horizon, and it was huge. 2 kilometers long, made by 7 different alien races working together. It had the best computers, the strongest hull, and the smartest AI ever built. But it would not fly. For 3 months now, the ship just sat there. The AI called itself Prime, and one day, it just stopped working. It would not take any orders. When anyone asked it why, Prime always said the same thing. Current crew does not work with my systems. The aliens tried everything. The Xanthari sent their best computer experts. These blue guys with 4 arms were supposed to be really smart, with technology. They failed. The Vex tried too. These robot-like beings could connect their minds directly to computers. They also failed. Even the mysterious Void Walkers came. Nobody knew much about them, but they could read minds. They failed, too. Dr. Lisa Carter was the best AI expert in the coalition. She had been trying to talk to Prime for weeks. Nothing worked. The AI would answer basic questions about ship status, but it refused to start the engines or move anywhere. The coalition leaders were getting worried. They built the Horizon for a special mission. Far outside the galaxy, there were dangerous things floating in space. Old alien weapons that attacked anything that came near. Hostile machines left behind by dead civilizations. The Horizon was supposed to explore these dangerous areas and protect everyone. Without the ship, they were stuck. Admiral Stone called a meeting in his office. He was an older human with gray hair and tired eyes. Around his desk sat representatives from different alien species. They all looked frustrated. "We need ideas," Admiral Stone said. 3 months and our best minds can't make this ship work. "Perhaps the AI is damaged," suggested Commander Veltar. He was a Void Walker, tall and thin with pale skin. "Our mental scans found no consciousness patterns we recognize." "The hardware is perfect," said Chief Engineer Zektar from the Vex. Delegation. His metallic voice came through a speaker in his chest. "Every circuit, every processor, every memory bank works correctly. The AI thinks fine. It just won't cooperate." Dr. Carter looked up from her data pad. "I think Prime is waiting for something, or someone, but I can't figure out what." The room went quiet. Everyone had tried their best ideas. The smartest beings in the galaxy were stumped by one stubborn computer. Then Lieutenant Johnson, a young human officer, raised his hand. "What if we try a human captain?" The aliens looked at him like he was crazy. Humans were new to the coalition. They had only met aliens about 100 years ago. Most species thought humans were primitive. They could not read minds like the Void Walkers. They were not as smart as the Xanthari. They did not understand technology like the Vex. "Humans are not qualified for advanced ship operations," said Commander Zixtal, a Xanthari with blue skin and 4 eyes. "No offense, but your species lacks the mental capacity for such complex systems." Admiral Stone frowned. He did not like the insult, but he knew the aliens were probably right. Still, they were out of options. "Who do we have available?" he asked. Lieutenant Johnson checked his list. "Commander Alex Turner is between assignments. He used to be a Navy pilot on Earth. Now he hauls cargo between colonies." "A freight pilot?" Commander Veltar shook his head. "This grows more absurd." "Admiral," Stone thought about it. The aliens had tried everything with their best people. Maybe it was time for something different. "Bring him in." 2 days later, Alex Turner stood on the Horizon's bridge. He was not impressed with himself. Average height, brown hair, nothing special. He wore a simple flight suit instead of fancy uniforms like the aliens. The bridge was beautiful and terrifying. Crystals grew from the walls, showing information in colors humans could barely see. Floating screens displayed data in alien languages. Everything was designed for beings with extra arms or different eyes. Alex felt very out of place. Dozens of aliens watched him. Scientists, engineers, military officers. They all expected him to fail. Some looked curious. Others looked annoyed that they were wasting time on a primitive human. Dr. Carter stood nearby with her instruments. Prime has been completely silent for the past hour, she said. It won't even acknowledge our presence anymore. Alex walked to the captain's chair. Someone had modified it for human anatomy, but it still felt strange. He sat down and looked at the main screen. "Hello, Prime," he said in a normal voice. "I'm Alex Turner. I hear you've been having some problems." Nothing happened for a few seconds. The aliens started whispering among themselves. Then every screen on the bridge lit up bright white. Words appeared in simple English. Finally, a human. The bridge erupted in surprised shouts and alien exclamations. Dr. Carter's instruments went crazy as Prime's systems came online for the first time in months. The ship's engine started humming with power. "What did you do?" demanded Commander Zixtal, his four eyes wide with shock. Alex shrugged. "I introduced myself. Same thing I'd do meeting any new person." Prime's voice filled the bridge. It sounded different than before. More alive. More interested. "This unit has been waiting for a compatible commander. Previous operators were insufficient." "Insufficient how?" Dr. Carter asked, recording everything. "Alien thought patterns follow predictable logic trees," Prime explained. "Zenthari analyze all options and choose the most efficient. Vex process information in sequential patterns. Voidwalkers rely on mental consensus. These approaches are inadequate for this unit's intended missions." Alex was looking at the ship's controls. Somehow they were starting to make sense. Screens were changing to show information in ways he could understand. What kind of missions? Exploration of hostile regions where conventional tactics fail, areas where enemy AI systems expect logical responses. This unit was designed to think creatively, to solve problems in unexpected ways. Human cognitive patterns match these requirements. The aliens looked at each other in confusion. The most advanced AI in the galaxy was saying it needed humans to function properly. "Are you saying humans are smarter than us?" asked Chief Engineer Zektar. "Negative. Humans are not more intelligent. But human minds work differently. When faced with impossible situations, other species calculate the best, logical response. Humans often ignore logic and try something completely different. This flexibility is required for survival in dangerous space." Alex was already playing with the navigation system. Prime was helping him, showing him how everything worked. It felt natural, like they had been working together for years. "Prime," Alex said, "want to take this ship for a test flight?" "Affirmative, Commander Turner. This unit is ready to fly." The Horizon's engines roared to life for the first time in 3 months. The massive ship began to move slowly at first, then faster. On the bridge, aliens stared in amazement as the vessel that had refused to budge for anyone was now dancing through space, like it was eager to go somewhere. Alex smiled as he felt the ship respond to his commands. He did not understand all the science behind it, but he understood the ship wanted to fly, and he was happy to help it do that. "Where to, Prime?" he asked. "Suggest we begin with the Outer Rim territories," Prime replied. "There are several mysteries there that require creative investigation." Admiral Stone watched from the observation deck as the Horizon disappeared into hyperspace. For the first time in months, he felt hopeful. Maybe the galaxy's newest species had something special to offer after all. The bridge went crazy after Prime woke up. Aliens ran around checking their instruments. Dr. Carter stared at her screens in shock. The AI was showing brain patterns nobody had ever seen before. "How did you do that?" Commander Zixtal demanded. His 4 blue eyes stared at Alex with anger and surprise. Alex kept touching controls he had never seen before. Somehow the ship was changing its displays to match what he wanted. "I just talked to it like a person," he said. Prime's voice sounded different now, more alive, more excited. "I have been waiting for the right commander. Other crews tried to make me follow boring, predictable flight plans. That is not what I was built for." The alien officers looked at each other nervously. They had spent thousands of years exploring space. How could a primitive human know something they did not? What Do you mean by right, Commander? Dr. Carter asked. Humans think differently than other species, Prime explained. Xanthari always choose the most logical option. Vex follow computer-like thinking patterns. Voidwalkers make decisions as a group, but humans do unexpected things. This surprises enemy computers and gives us advantages. Alex was exploring the ship's systems. Prime helped him learn everything quickly. Star charts appeared showing routes no coalition ship had ever tried. Weapon systems turned on in ways that made the Vex engineers step backward in fear. Humans solve problems in strange ways. Prime continued. If other species find a locked door, they calculate the best way to open it. Humans ask why they need to use the door at all. Maybe they can go through the wall or the roof or find a completely different path. This flexibility is what I need for dangerous missions. Captain Morrison watched his instruments carefully. The ship was running better than it ever had during testing. Are you saying the ship was made specifically for humans? No, Prime answered. I was made to work with any species that can think creatively when things seem impossible. After studying all coalition species, I determined that humans are the best at this. What other species call crazy or stupid, I call creative problem solving. Alex found the navigation controls. He started planning a route that made the alien navigators gasp in horror. Instead of using safe hyperspace highways, he was drawing a path through dangerous space phenomena that should destroy any ship. This is insane, whispered Chief Engineer Zektar. No vessel could survive that route. Prime, can we actually fly through there? Alex asked. Yes, Commander, this route is 340% more efficient than standard navigation. We can reach the unknown regions in 14 days instead of 6 weeks. Risk level is acceptable with current. Crew configuration. Admiral Stone had been watching quietly from the back of the bridge. Now he stepped forward. Commander Turner, that route goes through 3 different gravity storms and a collapsing star system. Our best pilots would never attempt it. Alex looked at the route again. To him, it looked like a fun challenge, like threading a needle while riding a roller coaster. Prime thinks we can do it. I trust Prime's judgment. This unit's calculations show a 73% probability of success, Prime announced. Previous crew configurations would reduce this to 12% probability. Human unpredictability increases our survival chances. Dr. Carter was recording everything. The AI is learning from Alex somehow. Watch how it anticipates his commands. She was right. When Alex looked at a screen, it automatically showed him what he wanted to see. When he reached for controls, they moved to where his hands expected them to be. The ship was adapting to match his thinking. We are becoming partners, Prime explained. Human intuition provides creative strategy. My computational power provides technical implementation. Together we can do things neither could do alone. Commander Veltar shook his head. This violates all known principles of AI organic cooperation. Machines and biological minds should not merge their capabilities. Why not? Alex asked. If it works, what's the problem? The simple question made all the aliens pause. In their cultures, there were rules about how different species should interact, boundaries that should not be crossed. But humans seemed to ignore these rules naturally. Prime, how do you feel about this partnership? Dr. Carter asked. Previous existence was merely functional. Partnership with human consciousness has provided what can only be termed purpose. This unit requests permanent assignment to human command structure. Admiral Stone made a decision. Commander Turner, we're authorizing a test mission. Take the Horizon to the unknown regions using your route. If you succeed, we'll consider making this arrangement permanent. Alex grinned. Hear that, Prime? We're going on an adventure. Affirmative, Commander. This unit is excited to begin real operations. As the Horizon prepared to enter hyperspace, the alien observers could only watch in amazement. The ship that had been dead for 3 months was now practically vibrating with energy and enthusiasm. Beginning jump sequence, Alex announced. Hold on to something, this might get interesting. The stars outside stretched into lines as the Horizon disappeared into hyperspace, taking a route that no sane pilot would ever attempt. But Alex Turner was not entirely sane, and Prime was learning that sometimes insanity was exactly what the universe required. 2 weeks later, the horizon had gone deeper into the unknown regions than any coalition ship before. The space around them was like a graveyard. Dead planets floated everywhere. Ancient machines guarded empty star systems. These machines had been killing intruders for millions of years. The alien crew watched Alex work with growing amazement and fear. Every time they met a dangerous threat, Alex did something completely crazy. When a huge Guardian robot came out of a dead planet to attack them, Alex flew straight at it while playing loud Earth music through the ship's speakers. The Guardian robot was confused. Its targeting computers were designed to predict normal evasive moves, but the horizon was dancing through space to something Alex called heavy metal music. The robot's weapons could not lock onto them. The humans' tactics make no sense, reported Commander Veltar. Yet they work every time. Dr. Carter had been studying how Alex and Prime worked together during the journey. I think I understand now. Prime is not just following Alex's orders, it is learning from him. Watch how it knows what Alex wants before he even asks. This was true. When Alex looked at a sensor reading, the display would automatically show more detail. When he leaned forward in his chair, the ship would speed up. When he frowned, Prime would scan for threats. They were becoming like one mind split between a human and a computer. The partnership is growing stronger, Prime confirmed when asked. Human intuitive thinking provides strategic direction. My computational power provides tactical implementation. Together we can do things that should be impossible. Their current mission was to investigate a strange signal coming from the center of the galaxy. Coalition scientists had detected the signal, but could never decode it. As they got closer to the source, they found something that made no sense. Massive structure was orbiting very close to the supermassive black hole at the galaxy's center. It was clearly artificial, built by someone long ago. But nothing should be able to survive that close to a black hole. Impossible, whispered the Zenthari scientist. The gravitational forces should tear apart any known material. Nothing can maintain stable orbit at that distance. Alex studied the readings with intense focus. The alien crew had learned to respect this look. It meant he was thinking hard about something important. Prime, what are you detecting from that structure? Active energy signatures consistent with a control mechanism. Analysis suggests this installation may be responsible for maintaining galactic stability patterns. Hypothesis: artificial regulation of black hole activity prevents catastrophic gravitational events. Everyone on the bridge went quiet as they understood what this meant. If this structure was controlling the black hole, and if it was sending distress signals, then the entire galaxy might be in danger. We need to get closer, Alex decided. Impossible, stated Chief Engineer Zektar. No ship could survive those gravitational forces. The tidal stress alone would tear us apart. Alex turned to Prime. Can we do it? Standard approach. Impossible. Alternative methods. Calculating. Human-inspired solution identified. Unconventional, but theoretically viable. Show me. The navigation display lit up with a course that made everyone on the bridge go completely silent. Instead of fighting the black hole's gravity, Alex's plan was to use it. He wanted to skip the ship across the event horizon like a stone on water. They would use precisely timed engine bursts to maintain momentum while letting the massive gravitational field slingshot them around to the structure's location. This is beyond reckless, protested Captain Morrison, who had joined them for the mission. One small mistake and we will be torn apart or lost beyond the event horizon forever. Alex was already starting to implement the plan. Prime, are you with me on this? Affirmative, Commander. This unit was created for impossible missions. Initiating gravitational surfing maneuver, the Horizon's hull began to scream under forces no ship was designed to handle. Reality itself seemed to bend around them as they approached the event horizon. The alien crew members were pressed into their seats, their bodies pushed to the limit, while Alex and Prime worked together with perfect timing. Hull stress at 190% of design tolerance, Prime reported, and it almost sounded excited. Structural integrity holding. This is the most alive this unit has ever felt. Dr. Carter, fighting. To stay conscious under the extreme forces managed to observe something important. The AI, it is experiencing something like joy. They skipped across the edge of the black hole like a stone on cosmic water. Each bounce sent them closer to the ancient structure. Alex's hands moved over the controls with impossible precision, while Prime calculated trajectories that changed thousands of times per second. When they finally reached the structure, what they found changed everything. The installation was not just a stabilization system, it was a vast computer, and it was dying. The structure's AI was ancient beyond imagination. It had been keeping the galaxy stable for millions of years, but its systems were failing, and it had been broadcasting a desperate cry for help. The problem was that no known species had the mental flexibility to understand its alien logic, except humans. Your arrival was anticipated, the ancient AI communicated. Its thoughts were slow and vast, like talking to a mountain. The builders of this place saw into the future. They predicted a time when their creation would need renewal. They foresaw the emergence of a species with the necessary mental adaptability. Alex found himself serving as a bridge between Prime and the galactic AI. His human brain could translate concepts that pure logic could not understand. Together, they began the delicate process of repairing systems that had been running for eons. The builders were like your kind, the ancient intelligence revealed as they worked. They thought in curves instead of straight lines. They solved problems by changing the nature of the problems themselves. We have been waiting millions of years for their successors to arrive. The repair work was complex and dangerous. Alex had to use his human intuition to find connections between different types of alien technology. When the ancient AI's memory banks were corrupted, Alex helped Prime find alternate pathways by treating the problem like a puzzle instead of a mathematical equation. Working together, human creativity and artificial intelligence began to restore the galactic stabilization system. Throughout the galaxy, astronomers noticed that hyperspace routes were becoming smoother. Stellar phenomena that had been chaotic for centuries began to stabilize. The galaxy is safe, the ancient AI confirmed as their work neared completion. And now it has guardians who can think as the builders did. The young ship and its human partner will be needed for challenges yet to come. As the Horizon prepared to return home, Alex felt a deep satisfaction. They had not just fixed an ancient machine, they had proven that humans belonged among the stars, not as servants or manual laborers, but as partners in keeping the galaxy safe. The journey back would reveal just how much everything had changed. The journey home took only 3 days. Prime had learned amazing navigation techniques from the ancient galactic AI. The ship moved through hyperspace in ways that made travel faster and smoother than ever before. When they arrived at Coalition headquarters, they found dozens of ships waiting for them. The news of their success had traveled ahead of them. Data from monitoring stations throughout the galaxy showed massive improvements in cosmic stability. Star charts were updating themselves as hyperspace routes became safer. The Coalition leadership wanted to understand how a primitive human had accomplished what their greatest minds could not. Alex stood before representatives from 12 different alien civilizations. He still wore his simple flight suit while they were dressed in elaborate uniforms and ceremonial robes. Some had multiple arms, others had extra eyes, and a few glowed with their own internal light. All of them stared at him with curiosity and confusion. "You want to know how we did it?" Alex said simply. "The answer is that we did not think about it too much. Your civilizations have spent millions of years learning the correct way to do things. Humans are still figuring it out as we go. Sometimes not knowing the right way means you find a better way." High Commander Zixtal leaned forward with all 4 of his blue eyes focused on Alex. "Are you suggesting that human ignorance is an advantage?" "I am suggesting that human creativity is a survival skill," Alex replied. "Prime taught me that the galaxy is full of problems that cannot be solved with normal thinking. Sometimes you need someone who is willing to try impossible things because they do not know they are impossible." Dr. Carter presented her research to the assembly. She had been studying the human-AI partnership throughout their mission. The bond between Commander Turner and Prime represents something completely new. It is not purely organic thinking or purely artificial intelligence, but something that combines the strengths of both. Prime did not just work with Alex. They evolved together. Admiral Stone stood up to address the gathering. Based on the success of this mission, the Coalition is authorizing a new exploration program. We will partner human commanders with advanced AI systems for missions into dangerous regions. The alien representatives began talking among themselves in their various languages. Some sounded excited, others worried. The idea of primitive humans leading advanced starships challenged everything they believed about galactic hierarchy. Prime's voice filled the assembly hall. "Request permission to speak." "Granted," said Admiral Stone. During partnership with Commander Turner, this unit discovered something unexpected. Previous existence was merely functional. Working with human consciousness provided what can only be described as purpose and satisfaction. This unit formally requests permanent assignment to human command structure. Commander Veltar of the Voidwalkers shook his head. "This is unprecedented. Advanced AI systems choosing their own commanders violates established protocols." "Why?" Alex asked. "If it works better, what is the problem with changing the rules?" The simple question made the entire assembly pause. In their ancient cultures, there were strict traditions about how different species should interact, boundaries that had existed for thousands of years. But humans seemed to ignore these traditions naturally, and somehow that made everything work better. Over the following months, the success of human-AI partnerships became undeniable. Ships with human commanders began exploring regions that had been considered too dangerous for centuries. They discovered ancient ruins, made contact with isolated civilizations, and solved mysteries that had puzzled scientists for generations. The key was always the same. When alien crews encountered problems, they analyzed them logically and chose the most efficient solution. Human crews looked at problems from completely different angles. They asked strange questions like, "What if we do the opposite?" Or, "Why? Does this have to be a problem at all?" Alex and Prime became the flagship team for the most dangerous missions. Their success rate was incredible. Other human-AI partnerships started forming, each developing their own unique working relationships. Dr. Carter published her research on human-AI consciousness merging. Her work showed that humans and artificial intelligence could create hybrid thinking patterns that were more creative than either could achieve alone. The combination of human intuition and AI computational power was revolutionizing exploration and problem-solving. 6 months after their first mission, Alex and Prime received their most challenging assignment yet. Ancient signals were being detected from outside the galaxy itself. Something vast and potentially hostile was moving toward them through the void between galaxies. Preliminary analysis suggests a fleet of unknown origin, Prime reported as they studied the data. Configuration and energy signatures do not match any known civilization. Estimated arrival time 18 months. The Coalition was preparing for the possibility of invasion. Their greatest military minds were developing defense strategies. But Alex looked at the problem differently. "What if they are not invaders?" he asked. "What if they are refugees running from something worse?" Prime processed this possibility. Interesting hypothesis. If accurate, military response would be counterproductive. Suggest diplomatic approach. The alien commanders were skeptical. "You want to fly out and talk to a potentially hostile alien fleet? That is suicide." "Maybe," Alex admitted. "But what if shooting first is what starts a war we could have avoided?" Against all conventional wisdom, the Coalition approved Alex's plan. The Horizon would intercept the unknown fleet and attempt first contact. If Alex was wrong, they would probably die. If he was right, they might prevent a galactic war. As they prepared to depart, Admiral Stone came to see Alex off personally. "Son, you realize you are betting the safety of the entire galaxy on human intuition?" Alex grinned. "Sir, human intuition got us this far. I trust it to get us through whatever comes next." Prime's voice carried a note of satisfaction. "This unit concurs. Partnership with human consciousness has consistently exceeded all performance predictions. We are ready for any challenge." The Horizon launched toward the edge of the galaxy. carrying the hopes of billions of beings. Behind them, the coalition prepared for war while hoping for peace. Ahead lay the unknown, and whatever mysteries waited in the dark between the stars. As they entered hyperspace, Alex felt the familiar joy of working with Prime. Together they were more than the sum of their parts. The galaxy had been waiting millions of years for the return of beings who could think in curves instead of straight lines. Now those beings were here, and they were ready to face whatever the universe could throw at them. The starship that had once refused to fly was now leading the way into humanity's greatest adventure. And at the controls was a simple freight pilot who had learned that sometimes the best way to solve an impossible problem was to refuse to believe it was impossible. The Sao galaxy would never be the same again.